Hey guys, so I'm on Reddit a decent amount, and a while back I found this subreddit called Basketball Tips. People like to post videos of themselves shooting and asking for feedback on their form, so I decided to upload a video as well, and this is it. So I got a few responses, not many. It's sort of a small community, but the most helpful tip in my opinion was from this guy named Yaburi. He says, "Main thing is sequencing your hips and the ball. Slowing down your clip, it looks like your hips are down while the ball is already at the top. Hip down, ball down is the way to go for a more consistent shot." And then he links a pretty helpful YouTube video. So when I read this comment, I actually already knew that I did this. You can go to the clip I posted and it's pretty clear. I bend my knees and boom, ball goes to my head. But as I said, I was doing this technique intentionally. I thought this was good form, but now I have a guide telling me it's not. So what now? Well, long story short, I found this new form to be better and decided to film myself taking 100 shots again with it. Long story long, I watched the video that was linked to me, which explained that the power transfer is better if you push the ball up while you are rising, which makes sense. Then I watched some videos of some NBA players shooting and confirmed that pretty much all of them follow this motion as well. So with that research, I conceded that my form needed to change. And what do you know? The next day, I went out to try out the new form, and I immediately noticed much more ease in getting power in my shot. Now herein lies one of my problems with learning basketball. So I've been playing ball for a little over 8 months now, and it's not like I'm dedicating my life to it or anything, but I've been playing pretty consistently, playing or practicing at least twice a week since then. And when I started, I was consuming a decent amount of basketball shooting videos, but still with all that effort, I can still find what I would consider to be a fundamental flaw in my form. It's a bit frustrating, to be honest. I've had this conversation with a few people that I think it's hard to learn basketball as an adult. There's a lot of content for tutorials on how to shoot a basketball on YouTube, but I would say in hindsight, a lot of them are not very useful, especially for myself because though I had kind of played basketball as a kid, I wanted to come into this sport with a perspective that I know nothing. So I need to learn basketball starting from the basics. But sadly, I think most of the content out there, whether the coaches realize it or not, teach in a way that assumes that the viewer already knows a few things about basketball or how to shoot. Furthermore, I think that a lot of these tutorials are more like those 5 tips and tricks types of videos, rather than an actual tutorial. And they get bumped higher in my YouTube search because their view counts are so high due to the clickbait titles like "How to Shoot Like Curry" or things like that. Saying all this out loud, I guess it's kind of my own fault for not figuring out earlier what is good content. But honestly, is it really too much to ask for a shooting tutorial that is clear, concise, teaches from the ground up how to shoot a basketball? And for the record, I have found a couple videos that I actually do like and would recommend to another fellow newbie if they wanted to get into basketball as well. But yeah, maybe I'll try to make a tutorial video myself in the future, so stay tuned for that. No promises that'll be any good though. Anyways, I wanted to end this little rant by sharing a conversation I had with my friend Jason. He was saying that as a beginner, it was good that I decided to completely change how I shoot. But as time passed, he was wondering if it was really a good thing to continue changing so many things about my shot, because I would start to get used to my form and my shooting would improve, but then I'd change something and my shooting would worsen. So maybe it'd be better to just stick to a form and work on improving that. I told him that I think, or at least that I hoped, that this new sequencing that I talked about at the start of this video, I think will be the last major change to my shot. But also, if there are better tutorials out there, maybe this loop of improving, adjusting, and then de-improving wouldn't take so long. On the other hand, I also said that with how popular basketball is, at least where I live, I think I'll be playing basketball for a very long time. So this process might be painful and annoying now, but I think since the journey of basketball will be long for me, I'd prefer to maximize my ceiling, so to speak, for how good of a shooter I can be. Now on to my personal favorite part of this process, looking at the data. So this session was not too long after my last session, just about a month, so I wasn't expecting it to be too different. Also, this is basically my first 100 shots after making the change to my form. So considering all that, I'd say this is still pretty good improvement. If we're only counting perfect makes, I actually made more in this session because I only had 1 lucky bounce, versus last time where I had 6 lucky bounces. Also, I think because I'm more consistent with my wrist flick now, combined with the new sequencing, you can see more of a bell curve with the red bars. So overall, I think since my precision has improved, that's a good sign of improvement. And now I have a second graph, because I also wanted to take a look at how my shots looked over time, because I noticed that I was really hot at the start, and then cooled down later on. So as you can see, in my first 10 or so shots, I was hitting almost 70%, and then we quickly fell down after that. I was definitely getting tired at some point. I don't remember when, but I wonder if fatigue was setting in at some point and that was affecting my shot. On the other hand, I also feel like after taking a few shots, you start getting into a rhythm. So in my mind, I would have thought that my efficiency would go up as I get closer to my 100th shot. This is kind of an aside, but one thought I had recently is how crazy it is that some role players in the NBA can sit on the bench for 10 minutes, and then when they come in the game, they're able to nail their threes so consistently. But I guess looking at my numbers now, maybe it's not so crazy, especially once you've practiced enough. And maybe I'm starting to approach that level of comfort. But anyways, looking at this chart makes me think that being able to shoot at 60% might not be so far away. I think I got hot at the start this time, but I guess having shot 60% for my first 15 or so shots makes me feel like I can do that for 100 of them soon. And that's all I have. Here's some baby videos as a reward for getting to the end again. Nutmeg. Good job.